Good day, press. Democracy in the United States has changed a lot since 1776, and I would like to talk about 4 modern aspects of democracy.
I think you're exaggerating there, Barack. The core of our democracy has been the same since our first president, Benjamin Franklin.
I asked you not to interrupt me. Moving on, the first aspect I would like to talk about is the media. The media has been an important part of the political system ever since the founding of our nation, but its role has greatly increased in the last century with the advent of radio and then television, and now we are just starting to understand how important the internet is to democracy.
Television in particular dramatically changed how politics was reported. When big events occurred, they were seen live on television, bringing more immediacy to politics and national events.
Wow. I'm impressed, Sarah.
I watch a documentary about television on TV. You betcha.
We as Americans currently live in a period of high-tech politics, meaning that our understanding of politics is being increasingly shaped by media and technology. Much of this we receive from the mass media, which includes television, radio, newspapers, magazines, and the internet. Politicians now are very aware of the mass media and its reach, and many use media events to reach the masses with their message.
How journalists cover politicians has also changed. The personal lives of politicians used to be off limits for reporters, but now personal scandals are regularly covered in the media, making politicians very careful in handling their public image. Whiner, 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 whiner.
Let's leave Anthony out of this. And Bill, and John, and Arnold, and Blagojevich, and your daughter.
Many believe the media to be biased. For example, the liberal media took my folksy sayings and turned them against me.
Many believe the media has a major impact on public opinion, but this is difficult to prove, and has been the subject of much discussion. Now to move on to another important part of the modern American democratic system, campaigns. Campaigning is all about appealing to the average voter, but also trying to appear to every specific demographic without losing the support of others.
If one word could describe campaigning, it'd be challenging.
Campaigns are a large part of the political system, and they provide a direct link between the voters and politicians because a politician has to appeal to many different constituents in order to be elected. They have grown from being about 2 or more candidates with differing stances on issues to being huge affairs that are covered extensively not only on the issues but on the strategic aspects of the campaign itself. Financing has also become one of the most, if not the most important factor of campaigning.
What are the 2 political parties again?
Jesus. It is the Democrats and the Republicans for the last time. But those are only the 2 big ones. There are much smaller ones. Political parties are political organizations put in place to gain power. They do this by providing their candidates for office with money for campaigns, throwing fundraisers, or organizing marches.
The 4th and final element of democracy I would like to discuss is lobbying and interest groups. Interest groups are a very important aspect of American democracy, although the interest group system has many detractors. Interest groups seek to communicate certain interests to lawmakers in Washington. Examples include the National Rifle Association, Greenpeace, and AARP. A brief definition of an interest group is an organization of people with shared policy goals entering the policy process at several points to try to achieve those goals. Internet groups pursue their goals in many arenas.
There are many different types of interest groups. The main types are economic interests, such as unions, business interests, such as corporations, environmental interests, such as conservation groups, equality interests such as civil rights groups, and public interests, such as consumer groups.
There are 3 main theories of interest group politics. Pluralist theory states that politics is mainly a competition among groups, each one pressing for its own preferred policies. Elite theory states that societies are divided along class lines and that an upper-class elite will rule, regardless of the formal niceties of governmental organization. Hyperpluralists believe the fact that there are so many groups is detrimental to government overall.
Sarah, I didn't know you were so smart. Where did you learn all of this?
Magazines.
Which ones?
Oh, all of them. You betcha. Alright, Barack, let me quiz you on a few questions. You have been telling me stuff this whole time.
What about talking to the press?
What are the 3 branches of the U.S. government?
That's easy, Sarah. They are the Congress, the pressy.
Wrong. There's the Oak branch, the Maple branch, and the Evergreen branch.
I think that is wrong. The 3 branches of the United States government are the congressional branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. The congressional branch is the government's only policymakers. Congress has a bicameral division, which means that bills have 2 sets of committee hurdles to clear. The 2 houses making it up are the Senate and the House of Representatives. There are exactly 2 senators from every state, while representative seats are given based on the state's population. Presidents, like me, try hard to influence Congress, and have bills that match their agenda be passed. Either branch of Congress can propose legislation, but only the House of Representatives can work on revenue bills. The Senate cannot propose appropriations bills either. They must agree to pass the same exact bill.
Yes, what he said.
Do you remember what another branch of our federal government was?
The presidency?
Well, the executive branch, but you have hope. The president has many commitments to his constituencies, both ceremonial and important. He is the poster boy and the scapegoat of the Senate. If the government is running smoothly, he gets all the credit. If we are in a recession, like we are now, he gets blamed. Presidents work with their cabinet, which is a group of staff designated to help him make the right decisions. This is running the bureaucracy. The president is also the foreign minister, in that he manages and determines foreign policy. He is also the commander-in-chief because he determines military policy. His other responsibilities include nominating Supreme Court justices and signing and vetoing bills.
Wait, and it's the last one, the judicial branch?
Wow, I am surprised you remembered that.
Actually, I just Googled it on my BlackBerry. Drill, baby, drill.
Moving on, the judicial branch is a branch consisting of a Supreme Court and lower state and federal courts. The courts interpret laws, but do not enforce them. That is the job of the bureaucracy. The courts apply facts and reasoning to resolve disputes. The Supreme Court, the highest level court in our country, is made up of 1 Chief Justice and 8 Associate Justices. Each justice has a life tenure unless removed by Senate.
This is fascinating, Mr. President. I am really bored with all this talk about the government. Could we maybe look at something that isn't so wordy?
Well, Mr. Naveen did ask me to go over some political cartoons. Political cartoons are important ways of expressing public opinion because they can convey a person's ideas in a humorous way. Cartoons are often used to humorously point out a politician's or a law's flaw.